be showing you how to make a working bowling minigame in Piggy build mode. So first, let's go ahead and set up our bowling area. We're basically gonna have a very square and centered hole in the floor. Now, we need our ball to roll down through this grassy area and into this pit. So first we're gonna have the base of the ramp right about here, and we're gonna make it about this curve. And now what we're gonna do is we're going to add another ramp right here. We're gonna make it the same width, except we are going to make it one block less longer. So as you can see, the block is not going up to here, it's only going up to here, but we're also making it one block higher up. So we're basically just gonna continue these steps over and over until we are at our last part of the ramp. Now, how do we spawn the ball at the top of this ramp? First, we're going to take a basketball cage, and then we're going to take a snowball facing towards the basketball cage, and we're going to move that directly into the ramp. It's going to hide the snowball pad behind the ramp itself. Don't forget to set the snowball setting to 0. When you start the game, you're going to notice a problem. The snowball is rolling on its own. First, we're going to take ourselves some powered invisible blocks, and we're going to put them directly below the snowball. Then we're going to take another set of these invisible walls, and we're going to put them on the front as well, adding invisible barriers to the sides of the ramps too. We're about to start placing some links. Keep in mind that all these links can be hidden behind walls or hidden underground. Place a knot gate and hook it directly up to these new invisible blocks. And now that both of these are connected, we're going to add our starting button. And we're going to set this button to 5 seconds, connect this button to the knot gate, and we got our starting button. But we need some for the snowball to roll down, so let's start setting up the bowling pins. So now we got all 6 of them set up, and in each of these spawn blocks, you're going to want to put whatever NPC you want, as long as it is a friendly NPC. We need a way for the game to detect when all the bowling pins are knocked over. And we also need to make it where if the snowball runs over these NPCs, it will kill them. So you're going to be placing a touch trigger over each one of these individual spawn blocks. And for each of these individual touch triggers, you're going to make sure NPCs is on, player is off, anyone is selected, and stay on forever after touching is deselected. So now let's make our NPCs able to be killed by the snowball. You're gonna place 2 rows of timers for each row of bowling pins. Take all these touch triggers and make sure they're connected to their corresponding timers. Now on top of all these timers, we're gonna be placing ourselves some if gates. For each if gate, you're gonna wanna go into the settings and make sure is moving is enabled. Make each timer go upwards towards its own if gate. Now we're gonna make each if gate do 2 different things. So make sure you have power death blocks on top of all your if gates here, and make each individual if gate go up directly into a power death block. Being the same step on all sides, in just a moment here, I'm going to show you guys exactly what settings to add in. It's going to be real cool. Now in each individual death block, you're going to go in the settings and you're going to make sure death trigger is set to player who trigger. Make sure all 3 of these are checked. The last thing that we're going to have our bowling pins do when they get knocked over is we're going to have them play a sound. We're going to place down some audio players on the top of all these death blocks. In each audio player, you're going to disable loop, and you're going to add in this audio ID here. That's going to be the bowling pin knockover sound effect. Now, the last thing we're going to add is we are going to add on the very top some audio emitters. Make sure each emitter setting is emit everywhere. And now, most importantly, we're going to take our if gate and we're going to hook it directly up to the top audio player. And now, when the NPCs are moved by the snowball, it will light up the if gate and trigger the kill. So now, when we go and roll down our snowball, you can hear the sound effect, and they actually die immediately. But it's not over yet. We still have a couple more things to add that will make this just even more amazing. We need a way of resetting the bowling pins automatically when the game detects that they're all gone. First, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get ourselves a link hub, and then place down a knot gate. Then you're gonna connect that link hub directly to the knot gate. Now we're gonna place ourselves an audio player, and inside the audio player, we're gonna disable loops, and we're also going to insert this ID. This ID is actually going to play a bowling strike sound effect. Then, of course, once again, you're gonna take your audio player, connect it to the emitter, and then for the emitter settings, you're gonna go ahead and emit everywhere. Now take your knot gate and connect it directly upwards into the audio player. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take all these touch triggers and you're going to connect them all to this link hub. Now, when the game detects a strike, we need to reset the pins automatically. We're gonna place down a timer, set it to 4 seconds, connect the knot gate to the timer, and now we're gonna do 2 things. First, we're gonna add an info block on the very top, have the timer go up into it, and we're basically going to announce that all of the bowling pins are going to be reset. And now we're going to take this timer and make sure it's linked up to all of these spawn blocks. Once they're all gone, you can hear the sound effect, and then boom, resetting all pins. Now there's two more things we need to do to make this perfect. So we're gonna create ourselves a very big gap in the ground between the ramp and where the bowling pins start. Then we're gonna go ahead and place down a powered block that's the same color as our ground. First, let's set up our obstacle. First, we're gonna set up a little wall here. Then we're gonna make another one of the same size, but moved just one block to the right. So by the time you're done with this, the farthest wall should be perfectly aligned with the edge of the game. First, place down a NOT gate, and then we're gonna place down 5 XOR gates. Connect the NOT gate to the first frame, and then you're gonna go ahead and connect your XOR gate to all of the other frames in order. We're gonna take all of our frames and we're gonna move them onto the same plane. Place a looper, an AND gate, a timer, and also a NOT gate. Touch trigger over the player spawn set to these settings, and we're just gonna put it right on top of the player spawn. Then we're gonna connect this directly over to the AND gate and to looper, looper to timer and NOT gate, timer to looper, NOT gate to AND, and now we need to set up some timers for our frames of animation. Past these two first links, on the third link here, we're gonna add our row of timers. Now take your looper and power it to the NOT gate, XOR gate, and the first timer. Connect the timer in this pattern: previous, current, next timer, previous, current, next timer. And when you get to the very end, you're simply just gonna do previous and current. Set the timers to however much you want. For me, I'm gonna go ahead and set it to 0.5. For the timer here, we're gonna set it to 2.5. Oh, one quick fix here. You're actually going to add a timer directly to here. So make sure the looper is actually linked like this. Make sure the timer is set to this and then this, and change this to 3 seconds. Oh, and one more fix. You're gonna actually remove this NOT gate, use an XOR gate instead, hook it up to that very first frame, take the timer and make it power the previous XOR gate, and then finally have this looper power this one too. And as you can see, we got our perfect wall moving obstacle here. Oh no, how are we gonna reset the snowball now? We're just gonna take our timer and connect it directly to this powered block. When the button loses its power, it's going to drop the snowball back into the void and reset it. Now we have one more cool thing to do to make this perfect. Now in order to make it so that people don't roll the snowball down while the pins are resetting, we're actually going to delink our button from this platform and hook it up to an XOR gate. Take the XOR gate, hook it up to the platform, and then finally we're going to take our NOT gate and we're going to place it directly onto the XOR gate. Finally, what we're going to do is announce who won the game. Over at our win detector, we're going to place down an AND gate, a modifier gate, with, of course, the single and only setting of clear last activated by. Take the NOT gate and connect it into the modifier gate. Take the modifier gate, connect it over into the AND gate, and take an info block and place it on top. Make the AND gate connect into the info block, and now we're gonna put in this command. It is $ curved bracket display capital N name and curved bracket. It has bold A stripe. Connect our button over to that AND gate. There we go, we got it. It'll actually announce my name. I've also covered all the new content on the Paranormal Pigmas update. Go check that out and make sure you subscribe for more.